Hi guys, so today I was inspired by my jacket to do a pink eyeshadow look with kind of a rose gold effect. And I'm first starting off with my Urban Decay Primer Potion and putting that all over my lids and into my crease. And here my eyebrows are already done. I tried to do them a little bit softer for this look. And for this look I'm using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Modern Renaissance palette. And I'm first going in with Tempera. And I'm using the brush that came with the palette, and I'm first going to go ahead and pack that on my lid and go ahead and put that in my crease because I'm using it as a transition shade, but if you're darker you can go ahead and use a different one. And next I'm mixing Burnt Orange and Love Letter, and I'm applying that with the blending side of the brush. And once I initially pack on the color, I'm going to go ahead and switch to my MAC 217 blending brush just to help blend things along and so it doesn't take as much time and kind of so it helps feather out the edges a little bit more. And after that, I'm going to go ahead and go in with the shades Love Letter and Red Ochre. And here I'm just going to go ahead and apply it a little bit lower than I applied the other shades because I want to have it a little bit smokier. So I applied all the shades before this a little bit more above. And I kind of avoid the outer corner when I'm placing darker shadows because I find by the time you blend it out, they end up there anyways. And I'm going ahead and switching back to my MAC 217 just because that's a simple trick to help feather out the edges. What do you guys think about the jacket? Do you think it's weird? And here I'm going in with the shade Buon Fresco, and I'm putting that all over my lid. I'm going to be going in with a chromatic shade after, but this was just as a base, and I'm going ahead and blending that out. And after this, I'm actually going ahead and using my custom enhancer drops from Cover FX in the shade Celestial with my MAC 242. And these are blinding on your eyes. I've never used this as an eyeshadow before, and it looked really nice. And next I'm going in with my Urban Decay eyeshadow in the shade Scratch, which is just kind of pinky. I tried to kind of leave the center of the lid alone and have it shine, but I think I ended up covering it anyways. But if you want to do a halo, if you can control it enough, that would look good. And here I'm just trying to show the progress. And then after that, I'm going in with the shade Raw Sienna, and I'm going to use that to kind of help feather out the red, because my eyes, you have to be careful, of course, with pink and red eyeshadows, and my eyes looked a little bit borderline, a little bit red, so I thought I would use the shade to just go ahead and smoke everything out a little bit better and help it blend a little bit more seamlessly. And I wanted my skin to look very dewy for this look, so I'm going in with the same enhancer drops I used on my eyes. I'm also going ahead and mixing it in with my Tarte Rainforest of the Sea Water Foundation, which is in the lightest shade. And I like this combination together. I don't do this every day because I find it's summer and it's very hot, and mixing highlighter in with your foundation can just make you look greasy, depending on how well it wears. And the water foundation itself is already pretty glowy, but I didn't really set my makeup at all after this, and it worked out well. So I would say this is an okay combo. I'm just going ahead and blending that out with my Real Technique sponge and just blending. And for the majority of this look, I just tried to use cream products. So here I'm going in with my Kat Von D Lock-It Whiteout Concealer and using that to highlight a little bit. And then I'm also going in to contour with my ABH Fawn Contour Stick Foundation shade. And again, so I'm trying to use as many cream products as possible. If you really want to look dewy, you want the minimal amount of powder possible. And so I like to blend this out before I blend out my highlight and put on my concealer. And so I contour my nose a little bit before because I like a really light nose contour. So all I do is mix it in with my concealer and it blends it out really well and kind of like it gives the shadow, but it's really not noticeable because I know sometimes we're all guilty of this. Using powder, sometimes it gets a little bit carried away and you don't know that's not blended. And then you go somewhere and you see yourself in a mirror and you're like, oh no, but this has worked every time for me. And I'm using my e.l.f. Perfect Finish HD powder to set underneath my eyes, and I believe I put a little bit on my nose just because that's where I get oily. And here I'm going in with my Makeup Forever High Definition Blush in the shade 225. This is called the Blush Cream Second Skin Cream Blush. I really like this formula. It doesn't move your foundation at all, and the shade is a little bit of a peachier shade, a peachier coral. On here I'm going in with my Hourglass Ambient lighting powder and using Ethereal Light. And I like this powder just because it gives a really soft finish. It kind of sets your makeup but doesn't really mattify it, if that makes sense. And I'm just going with my Milk Chocolate Soleil bronzer from Too Faced to bronze it up because my hair is up again. And a little bit on the cheeks just to help that contour. And after that, I tried going in with this Urban Decay eyeliner, and I believe it's in the shade Heartless. But there really was no color payoff at all. And this was just kind of a waste of time, but if you have a color similar to it, I think it would really suit this look. And for my inner corner light highlight, I'm mixing the shades Vermeer and Primavera on my MAC 242. And I like Primavera because it's a little bit more gold, so it helps with the rose gold, but Vermeer is also a little bit more pinky. So mixing the two just kind of helps the situation. And I'm going in with the shade Warm Taupe underneath my eyes just because I have blue eyes. And my eyes are quite a dark blue, and it just kind of helps contrast and make them pop a little bit more. And I'm using the shorter side of the brush for that. And I'm going ahead and curling my eyelashes with my Revlon eyelash curler. And after that, I'm using a mix of my Roller Lash and my Falsies Push Up Angel Mascara. What is that called? Yeah, so it is called that. It's by Maybelline, and I just found out I have the waterproof version, which I guess is good for summer, but also waterproof isn't always the best when you're trying to keep your lashes intact, because sometimes when you take it off, it's kind of almost like rubber. And here I'm going in with my Gleam, is Anastasia sponsored? No. My Gleam kit, and using the Marshmallow shade, and I believe the other shade is called Starburst, which is just a pinkier one, just for a little bit of a pink shift. And I'm going in with the slightest for my Revlon contour kit, the Chloe Morello one. That is available in Australia, and I'm just using the Makeup Forever brush to do that because I couldn't find my e.l.f. brush. And this was my first ever contour brush that I had. I'm just going ahead and blending all of that out after. And after this, I'm going in with my Marc Jacobs Nude Lipstick in the shade Screen Test. And this one kind of has a creamier formula. It's a little bit more sheer. I believe it's their Gel Infusion. And I tried a different lipstick before this, and it wasn't for me, so I'm just fixing my foundation a little bit around my mouth. And I'm using my Mario Badescu Rose Facial Spray to set everything, and that kind of helps give an even dewier finish once it's all said and done. And I'm just fixing my hair, and sometimes in the summer after I use setting spray, I like to go ahead and use my blending sponge again over it just to help soak up and take away any of the excess product because it's hot in the summer. I think it was plus 33 degrees Celsius yesterday, and I live in Canada, so oh my gosh. And if you like this video, I have 10 more videos coming, so please subscribe to my channel. I would love to have a few more people subscribe, and I hope you enjoyed the look. And thanks for watching.